Millennium.
2003 AD. Evil is once again threatening the Earth, and only the hero of time's great times many grandson can save it. Unfortunately, he's a drug-abusing, trigger-happy street punk. Can Navi set him straight? RR, please. Chapter 1. Raze of Hyrule. It has been a decade since Link had fought Ganondorf. Link, our hero that everyone has grown to know and love, was married to Princess Zelda, and together they had 3 children. Both of them were very happy and very royal. One fateful night, a night that would change Link's family forever, a mysterious man clad in dark crimson trotted up to the gates of Hyrule on a horse made of steel. The gatekeeper refused the man entrance, but Red Stranger demanded conference with the King of Hyrule, being Link. He was still denied entrance. 2 guards came out to ask him to leave. The Crimson Rider reached into a satchel on his side and pulled out a long whip, drenched in flames. The guards were ready to defend themselves, but the rider's weapons was too strong for their pikes and their armor. As they lay there dead, the gatekeeper hurried to get back over the drawbridge. The rider had other plans. With a loud shout, he galloped over the open bridge with amazing speed. The sharp metal hooves of his horse smashed holes in the wood as he crossed. They also smashed holes in the gatekeeper. The streets were cleared of civilians as the rider made his way to the castle. He swiped his whip back and forth, setting houses on fire and destroying everything in his path. Guards patrolling the path to Hyrule Castle were no match for him, and they soon were disposed of. He pulled his horse to a stop at the doors of the castle.
Come out, Link.
His demand was answered. Out of the door strode Link, dressed in his favorite fighting uniform. The Master Sword was in his left hand, and the Mirror Shield in his right.
You called?
Link was ready now. He studied the rider and the horse.
My sword might not be good you against that horse. I'll freeze it with an arrow first, and then get him off.
Link thought to himself.
I'm here for the try,
The rider stated, holding his hand out. Link could see glowing sharp teeth underneath the cloak that shrouded his face. Link would never give the Triforce up that easily.
Try? Forgetting the Force? Dang, this guy doesn't even know the proper name for what he's after.
Link felt like laughing.
Force? I am the Force!
This caught Link off guard.
There are not 3 parts to the Triforce, young fool. There is wisdom, courage, power, and force.
His voice echoed out from his hood.
There are 3 parts to it, idiot. 3 triangles, 3 parts, 3 forces.
Link argued back. He slowly pulled out his bow and an arrow. He glanced to his left and saw Zelda with his children, gazing at him through a window. The rider stiffened up.
There are 4 triangles, one on top, the others on the bottom left and right, and the other is not there anymore.
Link thought this over.
If it isn't there, then he must have the 4th part.
This man had to be destroyed quickly.
So give me yours, the one you got from Ganondorf, and your wife's, before I am forced to...
A burning flash of blue soared through the sky and crashed into the Crimson Rider. A layer of ice shrouded his chest and arms. The horse reared up and threw him off of its back. Another flash, this one red, slammed into his horse's back left leg and caused it to trip. Link had another bow ready, just in case the Crimson Rider or his steel horse got too hostile.
You think you've won, don't you?
A red aura surrounded the rider, and the ice melted away. Link fired his arrow at the rider, but as it passed through the aura, the arrow exploded in a shatter of splinters.
I'm not as easy as you think. Neither am I.
Link set another arrow in his bow, and this one was glowing yellow. The Crimson Rider raised his hands above his head, and a huge red disc formed above them. The bow let out a twang as the light arrow swirled towards the Crimson Rider. The disc flew towards Link. Both of them collided. Zelda gazed in horror through the window. She knew what would happen.
Run, children!
She and the children ran as fast as they could down the corridor to the back exit of the castle. As Zelda ran, she took a glance behind her. All that she saw was the window shatter, and fire shroud the spot that she was just standing in.
Link, no!
She knew what had happened. Link was gone. Note from Ryder, do not worry folks, Link will return later in the story. She grabbed her oldest child, a son about 8 years old, and said to him,
Take my power and run! Navi the fairy will guide you through this world!
She grabbed the boy's hand and placed his palm up to hers. A glow formed in between their joined hands, and Zelda's power was given to him. She glanced back at the broken window, and she saw the Crimson Rider hovering through it. The bright red energy ball was still in his hand, and she could see Link in it, trapped.
Join your husband, Zelda, and then the power of the Triforce shall be mine!
He tossed the glowing ball at Zelda, and being powerless, she was immediately absorbed into it. The Crimson Rider held it up to his hood, gazing at the two mortals trapped inside.
Now I will rule!
Over the years, Navi guided the descendants of Link. The generations wore on. The Crimson Rider went into hiding after realizing he didn't have the power of wisdom. January 6th, 2003. A teenage boy out on the streets of Chicago sat down to take a rest. He was about 6 feet tall, wearing a black jacket and torn jeans. A blue bandana was fastened around his head, and his hair stuck out on the side. This boy didn't know where he came from. He only knew that he had no parents, no home, and no place to go. As he leaned against an old crate in a back alley, he pulled out a joint and lit it. As he sat there, destroying his body, he pulled back the jacket sleeve from his right hand and examined his birthmark. It was very strange. There were 3 triangles, all shaping a pyramid with a missing center. He closed his eyes and tried to sleep, but a strange light was annoying him. He opened his eyes, and to his disbelief, there was a glowing object with wings right in front of his face. Ah! What in the hell are you? He jumped up, dropping his marijuana.
Don't be afraid! You don't know where you're from, do you?
The thing had a tiny voice, like that of a little girl. Man, I've got to quit smoking. No, I don't know where I'm from. Now the little fluttering thing was starting to interest him. It hovered closer to him.
Have you heard of the ancient kingdom of Hyrule?
The thing asked him. You mean the Legend of Zelda? I've heard rumors. Something about a missing king and queen brought its downfall. Why do you ask? He had a strange idea as to what the creature was going to tell him.
Well, you're the descendant of that king, Simonix.
What? How does she know my name?
Simonix thought to himself.
Am I really?
Yes, and now a great evil from ages ago has awakened and is now attempting to dominate the world. Since you share the blood of the great Link and Zelda, I decided that now was the time that you shall save your mother and father from the Crimson Rider that captured them.
Simonix reached into his pocket and pulled out a handgun.
Tell me where he is. I'll do anything. I currently have nothing left to live for, so I might as well live for something.
He slapped a clip into it.
It'll take more than that. Over the past, I've hidden all of Link and Zelda's relics across the world. You'll need all of them to beat the Crimson Rider. Since you already have a weapon, we'll need to get the Mirror Shield.
The little glowing ball seemed to know exactly where everything is.
Let's get to it. By the way, what's your name?
Simonix asked.
My name's Navi, a fairy that escorted Link through all of his quests. I'll teach you how to use all of his weapons.
Navi fluttered down next to a burning trash pile and seemed to light it on fire just like magic.
You'll need your sleep for tomorrow. The shield is, in fact, in this town. It won't be hard to find, but I did put up some obstacles just in case someone else tried to get it.
Navi settled down on a small piece of cardboard next to Simonix.
Sweet dreams.
I can't believe this. A descendant of royalty.
Simonix finally felt like someone, and as he closed his eyes, he envisioned himself dressed in Link's armaments, winning his father and mother back.
Millennium.